Hey, everybody, welcome to Comic Book Curation. I am Polly, broadcasting live from my bunker of quarantines where no viruses can penetrate, but I'm still reading comics. And joining me, not here, of course, because they're not allowed in, virus carriers, is Quiz! Quiz, you weren't here last week, but you're here again. The Triumvirate of Awesome is reconvened. How's it going?
COVID.
He's doing very well. And rounding out our Triumvirate of Awesome, as always, is Jack from Bad Comic Reviews. Jack, how are you doing during the viral apocalypse?
Yeah, I'm all right.
Oh.
How you doing?
I'm not as lackadaisical about it as you seem to be.
No point in getting all worked up. We're all going to die at some point.
Well, that's true. I'm not sure it means immediately or at the hands of... I was about to say...
What are you, psychic? You don't know what you're checking out.
I was about to say Chinese intention, but we don't know it was intentional. It might just be massive, blundering communist incompetence.
Isn't that the same thing as intent?
It certainly boils down functionally to the same thing, am I right?
That's just communism.
I forgot to capture chat, as you can see. Let's fix that.
I saw a comic today, like where the whole premise behind it is like, it's got like one guy sitting there going like, "Hey, so industry shut down because of the virus thing, and then proportionately the pollution has gone down because people are, it's almost like," and then it's got this other casual observer saying like, "Oh my god, he's gonna say it, he's gonna say capitalism is the point, the cause of all of the pollution," and he says it's almost like we're the virus, and then he's like, the entire fucking comic is completely fucking tone deaf. It's hilarious. I'm like, yeah, go ahead and tweet that from third world communist hellhole there, dude, and let's see how much you like capitalism. Go fuck yourself.
Yep, they should have to visit. We always say it. They never do. They talk about communist countries as if they're Shangri-La. Fuck off.
Yeah, because all they ever see is the Potemkin village parts. They never see how people actually live.
Yeah, it's all facades, man. That's what they showed Bernie when he visited.
Yeah.
Hollow buildings, and that moronic fool who's never actually worked an honest day in his fucking life bought it. Because, whatever. Oh, well, he's out of the running. Thank God.
For now.
Yeah, well, we don't talk politics here. Yeah, I'm certain he's going to put pressure accordingly at the convention. But, the guy has been living off the public teat his entire life. So, yeah, I don't doubt that he's going to continue to try and exert pressure via the public teat.
If they do comic books about Bernie, is it socially acceptable to steal them?
I would say it would be encouraged.
Because, I mean, you don't want some capitalist making money off of it.
Right?
Yeah. Do we need to explain yet again how completely full of shit fucking communists are? They all believe in fucking property rights. Bernie is like, would not be okay with sharing one of his 3 homes with anybody who wanted to. He would not, he just wants to spend your money. That's all it is. He absolutely believes in property rights, but doesn't believe in communism, isn't a communist. Like, fuck off. The whole thing doesn't make any fucking sense. You're a lying fucking hypocrite, and you're fucking marching people into the gates of commie hell. Get fucked. And I realize this guy for what he is. He's another bullshit fucking champagne socialist broadcasting utopianisms on Twitter as if they are some kind of reality. It's like, oh, well, young people, certain kinds of young people. Let's be honest. It's the pink-haired crowd that are showing up for that shit.
Mm-hmm.
Anyway, before we get too far into it, Matt Winter is here, and Keen is here, and Means of Destruction is here. Hey, Del Hayes, Hate Camel, Bearcock. Oh man, this is Kyle, all the regulars showing. I love it. Gold City Cult of Krill. Always happy to have you. Ryan Walters. Angela's here. Hey, Angela. And some guy named Jack. Bad Comic Review Streams. Oh man, fuck that guy. Jordan.
That guy's a dick.
Yeah, right. Richo's here. Jordan 250. So everyone except for Bad Comic Review Streams. Happy to see you. So, meanwhile, how you doing, Jack?
I'm good.
Okay.
How about yourself?
Have you been reading comics actually during this?
Yeah, actually, I got a bunch of videos recorded.
Sweet.
And got a bunch of stuff done. I had lots of time to not go anywhere or do anything.
Awesome. Oh, hey, Shady. I would type these things out in chat, but I just tried, and I'm at peak potato usage right now, so the words aren't showing up. So I'm just going to speak them live.
I'm at peak potato.
I'm just picturing you like you literally have a potato hooked up to a light bulb in your apartment.
Well, no, I've got one of those potato lights that run off the potato.
Oh,
It's not that bad. I mean, it's actually running. It had a couple of falters before we started there, and I just went and reset my router, and it went away, which shows that was his assumption about it being my laptop's fault. It was wrong, very wrong.
Just wait.
Just wait. Don't predict the downfall of the stream you're on, man. Shit. Actually, I've been reading a bunch of comics too, and one that was recommended by none other than Jack himself last week. Warrior Nun, fucking rockin'. I was thanking Jack for that before we went live. I had never heard of that comic before, and
I'm kind of surprised by that, actually.
that was like Ghost. I had never heard of Ghost before, and that was a sick recommend as well. It was just that's 2 for 2 in terms of stuff that I heard about from you that I ended up loving. I went and read the whole Ghost series, and that rocked. And then, because I was, for those of you who weren't here last week, I was pitching the Magdalena from Top Cow Comics, and Jack is like, "Well, if you like this, you should check out Warrior Nun." And I'm like, "What the hell's that?" So I made a note, went and looked it up. Holy shit! And it's like early 94 is when it starts, I think.
Something like that.
Yeah. Fix the chat, Polly. Okay, number 1. Has stumbled to us. Go ahead and clear the cache.
If you minimize the window, sometimes it'll freeze like that. So you just need to leave it up, just in the background.
Leave what up? OBS?
No,
Chat.
the chat.
Oh, chat itself. Yeah, well, I've got it popped out. Maybe that's what's going on.
Well, again, if you minimize it, it'll stop.
For Christ's sake, it didn't clear it. God damn it, OBS. You know, I just updated OBS earlier today. And yeah, far I know, fix your chat. Harpies everywhere. Hey, come on,
Maybe
baby.
if you were a
do
little
it.
bit better at the streaming.
I have never claimed to be good at the streaming, so you know, situation normal, right? SOP.
Being good at this is overrated.
Oh, so that reminds me of something. Thank you, Jack.
You're welcome.
As people have talked about, well, it wasn't intentional, so you know, keep it cool. The
Never is.
I just mentioned that comic because it was about like Catholic fighting. I didn't think you're actually gonna like it. It was
I just say shit that comes to mind.
Right.
There's really no thought process involved.
the where was I going with this? What were we just talking about? I'm working on 3
I don't
hours
know.
sleep, guys. I'm totally overcaffeinated. What the fuck? Okay, hold on. I remember now. So we've got a bunch of people that have been telling us for a while, as we suggested it, that I should clip out the end of the streams where we pitch comics, right?
Mhm.
And then put them up as separate videos. Now, I, unexpectedly and against all indications otherwise, remembered to actually go do that. So I downloaded a few of the... I know. Get scared. It's a red letter day. I downloaded a couple of the streams and went to clip out the end. Guys, we're really long-winded. I mean, really long-winded. Quiz looking at you. We have got to pare down our pitches. They're supposed to be fast, for God's sake. We go on for like 25 minutes pitching 3 comics. It's fucking terrible. Anyway.
I would like to point out that my videos last 2 to 6 minutes. So doesn't matter.
So you
'Cause you can always, if you think I'm running long, you can just wait for the video to come out about it.
So let me see if I get this straight. You save your long-windedness to use here?
Yeah.
Okay, fuck you. What the hell? What the This is like last week. You and Sinatra getting all fucking edgy and then laughing. Well, it's not my channel. It's like, that's fucking hilarious. That's great. Couple of
So funny.
dicks. I wanted to start with I know not what. Where should we start with? Oh, well, we were just talking about Magdalena and so forth, and this is an article that I believe, yeah, Jack posted over in our group. Secret DM-ness. So I'm going to share the screen for you guys so you can see what's going on live and in real time.
Real time.
Right. And then, there you are, chat. Rumor! The Last of Us 2 features a homophobic Christian cult as antagonists. Because, of course. Yeah, there's
laziness is how video games are made now.
Yeah. I mean, it really is lazy. Like, that is just... Are they rednecks too?
Of course they are.
Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it's just it's not even, it's beyond trite. It's just so predictable, cookie cutter SJW bullshit. It's so pathetic.
And the first game was nothing like this.
Yeah.
It was nothing like this.
No, this is sort of like you described the first game in 5 minutes to your aunt, and her and your mom get together and write the plot for the next one. Oh, we should have some of those Jesus people.
Right?
Because lonely cat lady aunt's got to fucking throw that in.
There's plenty of guys that, like, you know, villainous people and stuff like that, but it's a survival situation. There are people that are trying to poach your goods, you know, trying to steal your things. It's never ideological. It makes no sense that it would be ideological unless they're making it ideological.
Of course they're making it ideological because they hate you.
And it's just, they don't hate me. None of this stuff
no,
applies.
They hate all of us.
They hate you particularly, Quiz. We all
it was all like, hate that motherfucker Quiz. We're going to get him. They're going to step on Sisters of Battle minis and cutscenes and shit like that.
It pisses me off, particularly because the first game was so good. It's a really, really good game.
Go ahead and see what the article has to say about it, though. Originally posted to 4chan, where everything is truthful. And
well, to be fair, some really good rumors have been posted on 4chan that did turn out to be true.
Damn straight. Yeah. Reddit, too.
4chan have usually been places where people have leaked stuff, so...
So we have originally posted to 4chan and subsequently deleted. The leak was allegedly posted by an immediate family member, someone working at Naughty Dogs on The Last of Us 2, and outlines how the story's main driving point is the romance that briefly kindled between Dinah and Ellie. I'm assuming I'm saying those names correctly. Yes, the much ballyhooed lesbian kiss. Even I know this one. According to the leaks, Ellie is in a relationship with Dinah, a bisexual woman that is seen dancing and flirting with Ellie in previous trailers. After the game's first act concludes with a tender moment between the two women, they are suddenly attacked by a religious sect known as the Seraphites. Dinah is killed in this attack, leading Ellie to vow revenge against them. The Seraphites are described, and here we go, as a religious cult based on the teachings of Christianity who believe they are the lambs of God and aim to cleanse the world of sin. Most of the members are white men and women, and the group's shown dissenters referred to as wolves, consisting mostly of minorities. Now, why don't you just go for something that's a little more topical, like something that's been topical for the past 1,300 years, the inherent racism and homophobia and transphobia and sexism happening in Islam?
That's hate fact. I mean, that is a religion of peace and totally didn't invent slavery.
No, not at all. I mean, it's for anybody who's got a beef against minorities, it goes back over a millennia. And you want to make them a religious cult, and they actually, do form religious cults in this way. I mean, why don't you just... Anyway, Ellie and Dinah are supposedly targeted by the Seraphites because they are in a same-sex relationship. However, at the end of the game, Ellie will end up with a girlfriend who is a member of the Seraphites. Oh! Traitors from within. Religious people are all hypocrites. The cult.
What does this have to do with an apocalypse? Damn it!
Look, Quiz, you don't stop hating scissoring just because the world ended.
That's what the whole game was about. It's a pseudo zombie apocalypse. It's like this fucking fungus like flower thing taking over people's minds. None of this has anything to do with the world collapsing.
Quiz,
Well,
they are
hold on.
subverting your expectations.
Well, they are doing. No, wait a minute. They're meeting my expectations of them. What are you talking about?
Yeah, but they think they're subverting expectations.
Thank you, Bearcock, for the $10. Am I the only one here that doesn't read comic books but finds these guys so entertaining you still watch every show? Well, I'd like to pull a chat on that one. How many of you guys actually read comic books? I'm curious. But thank you, Bearcock. Very generous.
Yeah, thanks for the compliment.
Yeah, no shit. That was our aim. I'm glad to know we're achieving it. That we're not doing shit that's so.
Yeah.
Remember, we talked about that lots at the beginning. We didn't want to be so inside baseball that only nerds could enjoy it. Let's not leave chat like a country mile behind in the rear view, and they're like, "The fuck are these nerds talking about?" Hopefully, it comes across that way. Nice to know we're getting there. Some people. There are 2 male. Okay, now hold on. You know what I was thinking about this? So you're saying it's a survivalist game quiz,
Yes.
right? Does it make sense that in a survivalist apocalyptic sort of setting that a religious cult would focus their time, energy, and resources upon 2 people that are scissoring? Like, do they got time for that? Like, don't
really.
religious cults that are like really against this kind of stuff, like your Westboro Baptist Church with all the 40 fucking members in its congregation, don't they spend time going after gays generally? Like, if you know what I mean? Like, isn't that kind of like a hokey, stupid, bad, see-through, plainly transparent idea? That
it's extremely fucking I said when you guys linked this on our group DM, I was my eyes are going to keep rolling out of my head if I try for that game, which is why I'm going for a game that's not going to do that, like Streets of Rage 4.
Oh,
I think it may have been some input from Ellen Page because she was doing the voice of the girl.
Jesus Christ, that's right.
Yeah,
Jesus
so
Christ,
her headbutt attack will do damage.
Yeah. I mean, that is literally
Naughty
what she
Dog,
spends
yes.
all of her time doing now. Making documentaries nobody gives a fuck about.
Yeah.
About literally about the LGBT POCs. That is her
Yeah.
entire focus in life now. And going after other celebrities that she doesn't think are involved in right think. That kind of. This is Kyle asks, does manga count as comic books? Absolutely. I don't read manga personally, but that's a taste thing. That's not a. Oh fuck yeah, they're totally comics all the way. Absolutely.
You pitched Ghost in the Shell, and I pitched Berserk. So
No, you got me there. I did pitch a manga, didn't I?
yes,
That was
you
when
did.
I was on a big Ghost in the Shell kick. Well, re-kick? Is that a thing? A re-kick? Rekindling of a kick? Whatever.
Revisiting.
Revisiting, yeah. Re-enjoying, that kind of thing. Well, these rumors are unconfirmed. The Last of Us Part 2. Director and writer Neil Druckmann posted a tweet lamenting how the past 48 have taken a toll on me. On the same day, leaks were posted and deleted. And he posted pictures of that. Car engine? What am I looking at?
I don't know.
No, it's a VR headset.
Oh. Shows you what a touch of gaming I am. Yeah, see, people can tune in to talk about, or listen to us talk about comics because I'm talking about games and no fuck all. Jesus Christ, it really does look like a super futuristic engine in that picture when it's that small.
I don't know what this VR stuff you guys are talking about are. Back in my day, we had Atari and we liked it. We had 4 pixels at most, and that was the limit.
No, it was way more than 4 pixels, but come on.
You didn't know that.
What it is the future of porn, Jack. So you should get very interested right now.
Now you're talking my language.
Right. Where if you go watch the Wookiee translation edition of the Star Wars Holiday Special, available on this very channel, you can see Uncle Itchy using some VR porn. He really did. Like, all jokes aside, it was supposed to be family friendly. It was weird.
Yeah, it was way ahead of its time.
Yeah, it was very progressive.
Yeah, some old man sitting in the living room watching porn while the kids are running around playing. Yeah, that sounds about right.
Yeah. But I mean, a number of people did say that they're in the same boat as Bearcock. You know, read comics or don't read comics or stopped reading comics earlier on, but are still here.
Oh, we appreciate it.
Yeah, no shit.
Mm-hmm.
Now I want.
Well, I've heard people giving crap to Bounding into Comics for posting
Really? Why?
this article, and they're explicitly saying it's a rumor.
Yeah.
But you know what? I find a lot of it pretty believable.
Oh, about Heather Antos?
No, about
Yeah.
Jesus being the villain for the game Last of Us, which we were just talking about for
Oh,
5 minutes.
okay.
Yeah, this is one of those times.
He's already gone on to the Heather Antos thing.
But not
That wasn't done yet.
But not for chat. You see,
Okay.
this is what's called, full air quotes here, producing. I took that down
Ah.
and got the next article ready up, and then you jumped the
I'm
gun.
not watching this screen.
I'm sorry. I'm looking at the screen.
Cheater! You're looking at the screen. Oh
I
my
am.
god!
I'm land hacking. But the the whole thing for Last of Us, man. Again, this whole like the first game was so good, and like the one thing that I've been saying from the start, when everyone was sitting there like freaking out about the two women kissing, whether they were making fun of the people who were getting angry about it or people who were getting genuinely angry about it, I didn't give a shit. The only thing I was sitting there thinking is, okay, there's Ellie, where the fuck is Joel? Is Joel just gone?
Oh, he is an evil straight white male. You know that for a fact that he does not belong in a game. We had to decolonize him, so he's been removed.
It's so telling about the fact that this whole thing now with them doubling down, tripling down, and focusing on the fact that she's a lesbian being the cornerstone, the corner feature of the game, and still no sight of Joel anywhere in the game. You know, the character you actually fucking played as in the previous game.
Yeah, they're trying way too hard to force this into being a controversy, and it's not going to work because nobody fucking cares.
Well, no,
She can be gay and smooch all she wants. Nobody's cared about that since like '98.
I'm just saying, man, because of that, it's making me not want to pick up the game. And loved the first game. I loved the fuck out of it. It's one of my favorite PS3 games.
Now, we were, I'm not going to share the screen for you guys, so you'll have to watch it live because, Jesus Christ, Quiz and I still have the same problem with CBR readers, right? Full screen and nothing but, can't windowize them, you know?
Yeah.
Yep.
So there's life, but Jack already knows about this. A warrior nun, and I've never heard of it. It's Aurelia. Is that how you say it?
Aurelia.
Aurelia.
That's how I understood it, because it's real, like the city in Spain.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
Aurelia.
Okay.
Something like that.
You know, you pick up.
Hey,
a
I
word.
just got a notification that Polly went live.
Sweet. I love that guy. This is what I was talking about that Jack had mentioned last week, Warrior Nun Aurelia. And it's, now, you want to talk about some blasphemous material, let's talk about Warrior Nun Aurelia, because it's good. I just mean, like, I don't know, the nipples poking through the scantily clad nun's habits kind of making me feel weird about this whole thing. I mean,
it's cold in the church, you know, it's the drafty, and that they're just portraying that with the headlights.
Right. It's actually a really great comic, like a warrior on behalf of the Catholic Church fighting demons and evil people and like all sorts of things. It's just holy world building Batman. This is American manga, as you can kind of tell looking at it. I think it gets more manga-esque as time goes on. But hey, you want to do religious material? Look no further than stuff like this or the Magdalena, like I pitched last week. This is where it's at because it's great. And if you're one of those manga people, there's some American manga for you. This stuff is fucking awesome. I mean, look at this. I love it. It actually is great world building in terms of the detail of the backstory and everything that's going on and the fight between what Aurelia is doing. And there's other warrior nuns in the series, and now it's been picked up for a one of the other warrior nuns has been picked up for a Netflix series. Guys, can you imagine? I was joking about this with Jack. You know, the warrior nun's going to start fighting the Catholic Church because like they're the true evil on earth, and They've all become atheists. There is no God, but they're going to keep fighting the fight on behalf of the oppressed LGBTQ community. You know,
Well, obviously.
Netflix,
Mhm.
right? And I mean,
Yeah.
if you think the central character is going to be white, you got another thing coming. It's
Yeah, there were a couple spin-offs with some of the like miniseries with some of the other nuns too, so you can always deep dive into that if you get bored.
like functional, or sorry, Ryan Walters says nunjas. I love it, nunjas. That's like,
Mhm.
so there's
Yeah, see, I posted a warrior or a nun ninja before, and I called her a nunja.
yeah.
You didn't get any fucking traction out of that one.
They made toys of this too.
Sweet.
And it's like you got this Kyle saying like fucking warrior nun lol. And like I hear you because like when I first I was like, is this gonna be any good? It's like I felt like when I was reading the Magdalena, right? It's like you've taken you know what I don't know if anybody ever watched the HBO Spawn series or read the full Spawn comic.
It's so good.
Yeah.
It's so good.
The backstory of what's going on in that series, I feel that Magdalena and Warrior Nun are the kind of fulfillment of the promise of the backstory of Spawn, if that makes sense. It's like there was never enough detail of what the hell's going on. Like, okay, so Spawn made this pact with Melbolgia to, if I get to see my wife again, everyone knows Spawn's backstory, right? You will be like the general of hell. And apparently, Heaven is also employing, like, it's all indirect battle through proxies, right? So there's all these warriors running around in this kind of like open but secret mystical war that's happening. I mean, that's a very interesting idea, but there's no detail with it. Like Magdalena and Aurelia go full blown with it, man. So I mean, if that kind of idea sounds interesting, oh man, like
I don't know how much of Spawn have you actually read, Polly, because they go into detail with that quite extensively.
not enough for me, damn it.
Well,
They didn't get to it by issue 20, so I stopped caring.
I was
Well,
say by almost issue 200, they actually have the war between heaven and hell.
did you hear what you just said?
Yeah, I know.
Did you?
I'm just saying, I'm a longtime fan of Spawn, man. I've been reading it for a while.
It's the derailings. Like, okay, like the ones I know, of course, the best because I've read them the most times are like, you know, the first ones that came out when I was buying them as collected editions, right? And so, you know, you got Billy Kincaid as a side story, and then the priest with the grenades, and you know, just side stories, right? And then I don't think Wanda and his best friend who went and fucked and married his wife, son of a bitch, is
That would be Terry
thank you, Terry Fitzgerald.
Fitzgerald.
Right.
Yes.
I don't think that that's a side story, and I heard complaints about that. And it's like, no, that's a central part of his anguish, of Al's anguish, right? So it's like, no, but the background, maybe it got to there. I think I stopped reading Spawn around 80, like in terms of the collected editions that I was reading. I don't know. In any case, if any of this stuff interests you, by all means.
Yeah, no, they expand on it quite a bit. It does you know meander quite a bit. You're not wrong about that. But no, it does eventually get to the point.
You know, just playing on a taste thing. Sorry, so I was just wondering what the hell was going on with OBS there. It looked like it froze. There's the bad girl image. You know what I mean? And this is me going against the grain. I know. Sorry, guys. You got anime titties. Now, I like anime titties as much as the next red-blooded male. Okay?
Who doesn't?
Right. But give me a Western comics bad girl in terms of sexy comic babes over an anime manga waifu any day. Just saying.
It depends.
I mean, have you ever seen a thumbnail for comic book curation? I think you know where my tastes lay. You know what I mean? Like, I just, those, like, if you look at, you know, it's like, so what's Polly talking about? Look at any of the thumbnails for comic book curation. Like,
Well,
like that, like sexy, badass, athletic, muscular girls. I find it's just my taste. No one has to agree with me, and most of the internet doesn't on this issue. Are much more interesting than the trope of the submissive, big-tittied cat girl in anime.
That's not necessarily the okay, it's a stereotype, yes, but it's not necessarily a prevalent one. There's plenty of athletically muscular women in anime. That's well, and in manga, that's just as, if not, in my opinion, better than a lot of Western comics.
Well, I mean, Jordan's like, Polly's too sheltered. It's like, yeah, I fully expected to get some. How dare you disrespect the waifus? Like, I know. Like, don't get me wrong, I have seen some sexy anime stuff going on, and there is no, not really analogous Western comics hentai. Get on it, people. What the hell? But yeah,
Oh,
Yeah.
there are a lot of underground comics from the 90s that tried that and they didn't work.
I'll say, like I say, is pre Band of the Hawks massacre. Costco was pretty fucking badass. From Berserk. Here, let me just pull this up here. Like here.
I understood those words differently than what you think you intended. I thought there was a massacre at a Costco.
that's what I picked up. Hold on.
Say Band of the Hawks.
Yeah, I just assumed that was some crappy street gang that rode in on their mobility scooters and started looting a Costco for Depends and some toilet paper.
Oh.
You have to be a little more
Screen share's
specific
all
and
fucked
lead with Berserk.
What?
What?
No, what did you say, Zach?
I heard it. I followed it. He's just making fun of you, man. It's fine. It's nothing new going on there. Let's see. Let's talk about Heather Ontos, shall we? Now you guys are looking forward to it.
Are we?
I think you are.
Live patron Ricky Berwick created an OnlyFans.
That's horrifying.
He is my favorite goblin.
I will have nightmares now. Thank you, Lion.
There. God damn it, Chrome was doing the thing where I'm trying to share the screen with the guys and it's flashing them. So I don't want them having epileptic seizures. You know what I mean?
No, Polly, I don't want to see that. Put it away.
Yes, you do. Valiant
Instead of
Comics.
before and after.
Valiant Comics senior editor Heather Ontos claims America has the worst fans. If you guys were listening to Monkey in the Morning last night, this got brought up, and it's like, yeah. Former Marvel Comics editor and now a senior editor at Valiant Comics, and let's not talk about her interim short job over as a esports editor. Twitter user Hunktears asked, "What thing has the worst fans?" And she responded, "America." And to which a whole bunch of people responded really quickly. America Chavez, including Quiz.
Yep.
And it's like, well, you know, when you're going to open yourself up like that, well, she would.
Well, then you're somebody's work girlfriend.
Yeah. She would double down when Hunktears detailed that the best reply was Jesus Christ. Really? It's not Muhammad? Really? It's not Karl Marx? Really? Fuck all you guys.
When more people have died to those two.
Just saying. I mean, quite literally. So what the fuck are you talking about? Moving on. You're currently in second place behind my friend who says Jesus Christ is the best answer. The replies are real bad, though. The replies to you are real bad, though. Yeah, I know. Like, let's all keep the Heather Ontos, the smug blonde girl who thinks she knows everything. Just keep reaching for the internet PP touches. You're sure to get them by white knighting for them. It's totally worked in the past.
Now, look, 10,000 likes equals 1 PP touch. It's a proven fact of incel internet. I heard that somewhere. I may have made it up. I'm not sure.
To be fair, you have to be the 10,000th.
Yeah, probably. Well, look, I think this was a really bad play on her part, not just because it makes her look like a complete dumbass, but because this is really going to hurt Valiant more than it's going to hurt her.
Well, I've heard tons of people on Valiant's forums have been saying that the entire run that she's editing has been awful.
Yeah.
Yeah, from Man.
I've been hearing that too.
fans. That's from Valiant fans.
Yeah, well, a lot of the Valiant books have been incredibly hit and miss. Bloodshot's been awesome. I'm having a great time reading that one. I ordered Exo Man of War, but now I kind of don't want to read it
Not that,
because
well, I mean, I wondered, like, is she having any creative input? She certainly didn't at Marvel, other than, I mean, editors, their job is kind of like wide open. It depends on what they're particularly tasking you with at a given company, right? You can have lots of creative input where it's like, I need you to write more about X, and then it's just a general thing for the writer to do, or you're plotting out whole fucking story arcs with them or for them. It all depends on what you're up to. I don't know what this
yeah,
woman's been doing or is doing. Who knows? At Marvel, she wasn't doing very much, from what
uh,
people say.
a lot of their stuff's been pretty tepid. Um, I was excited to see Exo Man of War come out because Bloodshot's been doing really good, and they got Dan Abnett on Rye, so they've got some good writers in there. They've got some decent talent. The problem is not all of their books are consistently like that. Like The Visitor was garbage. Oh, that was painful to read. It was so amazingly generic that you can't even describe it. You're like, well, if you went to a dentist office and read the most boring pamphlet, that'd be the equivalent.
So I gotta wonder though, like you're just stirring something primal in me. Is
I
Heather
have that
Ontos
effect.
fucking editing a book written by Dan Abnett?
No, somebody else is editing that one, unless she got assigned to it
Good,
recently.
because that would be the ultimate insult in my opinion.
No, as I understand it, she's only editing like 2 or 3 books, and some of the books have been suffering before that. Like Lords was a really wasted potential book. It had a lot of opportunity to improve, but it was hot garbage too. And Dr. Mirage was trash. Dr. Tomorrow's boring. It's amazing how mixed bag their books are, but with the shutdown, they're going to be suffering because a lot of their books don't sell very much.
Mm.
Like I think they only sell like 6 grand is like the high level of their sales, 6,000 books.
Hmm.
And a lot of their books are floating around too. If she's coming out shitting on the fans and the country she lives in, like just leave, um, then you're not going to help your cause any because people are already kind of doing the rah rah America thing with the whole virus thing. So this is not going to be a good look when things get up and running again.
Yep.
And it, people like this, I think, through unintentional self conditioning, put themselves into a position where they know that certain tweets are going to get more attention than other tweets. When we say certain things, I believe that she actually thinks these things, but I also believe that she knows it is going to grab attention. I mean, it goes like this. What can I say? The worst fans, upside down smiley face, sorry, not sorry, for those 12 likes. It's probably a lot higher than that. No, this is a live. It only has 12. Jesus Christ, I thought that was a screen grab. This is live. So you insulted the country you were born and raised in for 12 likes. Jesus Christ.
I gotta see if that was ratioed to fuck. Let me see.
That's intense. I really did think that was a screen grab. That's live. Oh, fuck. Anyway, the Heather Ontos, blue check mark that she is, I think she's awesome for the purpose that she ends up unintentionally serving. You love yourself to death. You hate Donald Trump. You hate Trump supporters. You're convinced that half the country plus is all a bunch of bigoted, sexist, racist. More from you. More from you. Because you're encouraging the backlash that you don't realize you're encouraging. Like, do you understand what I'm saying? Like, you are the literal stereotype. And I'm not talking about you because we're desperate for content. I've got a whole bunch of other tabs. I talk about Heather Ontos not because I think she's a talent, not because I think she's ruining comics, but she serves as such a great epitome for who we're talking about being the insulting bullshit artist, the self-righteous comic pro who gets on Twitter and says garbage like this. You wouldn't love living anywhere else. Heather Ontos, the First Amendment is what is allowing you to do what you're doing right now. If you wanted to defend yourself, which is your right to do, it would be the Second Amendment that would allow you to do it. When your government is interfering and wanting to search through your papers, it's the Fourth Amendment that's protected. You love America and you are thinking of very particular people that you politically disagree with and assuming they're America fans, so thus you hate America instead of being opposed to people that you're opposed to politically. And send all of this garbage out on the same account that is your professional Valiant and former Marvel account?
Well,
You're
She
insane.
has a
I,
she has a follow-up tweet
oh,
where she said
She has
that
several.
yeah, in one of them she said that editors are not customer service representatives or something to that effect. And that's the problem, is that mentality right there. If you're talking in public as a person who represents the company, because it's in her bio that she works at Valiant, you are a customer service representative. Be a professional. If you can't handle that, create a sock puppet account and do your stupid political bullshit there. Nobody wants to hear it from your pro account. They want to go there and find out about the new books that you're putting out and you're hyping, and you're going to make them excited to see some action and adventure or whatever it is you're putting out.
yeah.
They want to see that. They don't want to hear how much you hate the country they live in.
Yeah.
It's some of the replies. Sorry, did you get the ratio?
I did. And I don't know what's up with your browser there, but it's not live.
Okay.
She has 157 likes
Okay.
on it. 71 responses.
Oh, well, 157 likes. What's her? How many followers does she have?
33,000.
Well done. Well done, Heather. Okay. So, some of the responses that she got, and I'm sure they're picked by, I'm sure there's some that are just like, fuck you, bitch, you dirty cunt, like, because it's Twitter, you know. But some of the ones that were picked by Bounding into Comics are, so how's Pencils Down going for you? You're free to leave. Yeah, of course. Writers and editors working at a relevant comic book company be like, Karening intensifies. Love that kid.
All right, that's kind of funny.
Damn right
Yep.
it is. And she would respond to, I think the replies alone prove my point. See what I mean? An unintentional
Yeah.
self-conditioning towards, I'm going to prod you, you're going to reply. I'm going to cut your reply and say, you see, I'm being harassed.
Yeah, it's a self-fulfilling prophecy. She's throwing out I don't even think she recognizes that she's throwing out bait. She's stating what she believes to be a popular fact.
Yes.
And then when people attack her, it's targeted, because these are obviously the minority of those jingoistic hillbillies that are like talking about God and country and playing with their guns. That's who she thinks is attacking her, not
She-
normal people that are like, what the fuck are you talking about, lady?
She's the embodiment of Schrodinger's douchebag.
Yeah.
She's fine, innocent, and sweet until she says something that is intentionally
Provocative.
and when people rightfully respond, she goes, well, yeah, it's just a joke, or see, you're just proving my point. You're always a douchebag. No, there's no cracking open this box and seeing the dead cat. You're just always a douchebag, Heather.
What?
And what about all of the what about that dead kid? I'm still waiting on that dead kid there, Heather. The Joker was so terrible of a movie, and yet police were out trolling the movie theaters for the Joker and not stopping that 7-year-old kid from being killed in what can't remember the name of the town now. It's a borough in
It's a town right outside
Chicago.
of Chicago, no?
Yeah.
That's good
Yeah.
enough.
It's where were the police there? Oh, but the Joker was so dangerous, wasn't it, Heather?
Like
Fuck
I
you.
think Gunsky nailed it in chat here. He said her entire platform rests upon the reputation of her employer, and she's tarnishing that reputation right now.
Yeah.
Like I said, Bloodshot is a really good book, but people aren't going to know that, and they're not going to try it out because of dumb shit like this that she's doing.
Yeah.
It makes her look stupid, foolish, and reactionary.
It's poisoning the brand.
Now we've all
Absolutely.
we've all read and watched interviews and different people that have said stuff about like Comicsgate and so forth. How hard would it be to deliberately provoke one of these comic pros? Something along the lines of what? Off the top of my head, you're just an isolated New York closeted fascist elitist. You don't understand how it is for the average American. And watch the rage flow.
Well, that would just be a truthful fact. These
Yeah.
are a bunch of bourgeoisie
No,
kids.
but you understand what I'm saying? It's like I could prod the
Yeah.
fuck out of you, and you deliberately prodded the and don't act like you don't react, Karen. I mean Heather, you do. She's done it for years. Back when she was working at Marvel and the whole
But
thing.
she skates on it so often that she doesn't realize she's doing it, I think.
and
I don't think she's trying to be provocative. I think she's trying to get like virtue points with her in crowd. And when people respond negatively, those are that minority group of evil Nazis or whatever. It's never the popular opinion that is against her. It's always the vocal minority.
and you're looking forward to a hell of a 2016 or excuse me 2020 election, Heather, because we all remember Comic Pros after 2016. I don't think
Yeah.
I don't think it's a guaranteed in the bag that Trump's going to win, but it's certainly looking that way. And you guys obsessively tweet about Trump all the time. MAGA people represent fans of America. Well, I don't hate America. Then what the fuck are you fucking talking about? It's just you actually don't want to leave, and people say to you, "Why don't you fucking leave?" The virtue signaling, like I said, the unintentional conditioning that she knows she's going to get reactions to be able to prove that if this many people hate me, I must be in the right. And Jesus Christ has the worst fans of all. Am I right, Heather? Elbow. Am I right? Right? Like, do you see that kind of like? Yeah, it's all little in group, like you said, Jack. Like, why else would you tweet? My friend said, Jesus has. Why don't you have some balls and say Muhammad has the worst fans?
Right?
I mean,
real quick,
go ahead.
real quick on the Streamlabs. Thank you, James Kelly, for the donation. So, like, Sophane? Yeah, pretty much.
Yeah, Matt of Winter says, did you know you can get Twitter jail now for just using the term Karen? Yeah, it's been promoted as a slur. It's a slur. Whatever.
Oh, that's by Julie Bindel though. So if we're talking about that, Julie Bindel is the poster child of Smells Like Cat Pee. Yeah.
Everybody
Yeah.
develops names for people that they don't like online. Holy fuck, quiz. Dive. It's
Right?
it's
Like the scene from The Fugitive going there. Look, the Karen thing is just
I
like
did
the
not kill my wife.
It was the one-armed man. The Karen thing is going to end up being just like the word retarded. It'll change form. They'll say you can't say that anymore, and then whatever word they come up with, you just add a sarcastic twist on it, and it'll be the same word.
Yeah.
Because it's the way you're saying it, not the actual word, and they don't get that.
I mean, I don't know if you guys have noticed, and in chat you've noticed, like whenever you want to derisively describe white men and you want to call them like stupid morons who don't get anything, what do you say? You say Chad, or my favorite is white dudes. I remember what's her name when she was on her press junket for Captain Marvel, Brie Larson. Oh my God! Every single fucking time she would sit down to talk, she would say, "See, I made movies, and I'm not really interested in a bunch of white dudes reviewing it." And it's like, yeah, you say white women and white dudes. You're doing it in a very particular way to gouge at them. But I don't care what a bunch of Chads think. It's just lighten the fuck up. Everybody has terms like this. And describing very specific people. I mean, it's a slur because, I don't know, feminine. Here, let's find out how Dragman explores the complexities of gender and power according to CBR. Holy fuck, am I going to go over this fast?
Isn't it exclusive?
Oh, hey, let's find out. Good question. Doesn't seem like it. Why don't you make it an exclusive?
There must not have been any tweets available.
When August Crimp wears women's clothes, he gains the ability to fly. His world, superheroes are common enough that citizens are expected to carry superhero insurance in the event that they ever need to get rescued during a crisis. Doing superhero work without a license is highly illegal, but the Superhero Society has strict rules about clothing-based powers. They aren't permitted because they're too unpredictable and dangerous. August's brief stint as Dragman thereby ends after he's denied a license and he packs up his clothes and tries to lead a normal life. It's just spoiling the whole story. Dragman is a complex exploration of gender and power, partially based on Applebee's own gender journey. The story deals with identity and presentation, intimate relationships and secrecy, as well as devastating violence against trans women.
Wait, okay. So the premise is all fucked because what I got from that is that it's a drag queen. I mean, it's in the name,
But
drag man.
but only gets powers by putting on women's clothes, etc. Yeah. So that's
Yeah,
thus drag
so
man.
it has nothing to do with transgenders. What the fuck are you talking about?
You are so transphobic. Do you not understand the range of trans people that there are?
They're entirely different things.
Real quick, I gotta grab a couple Streamlabs here.
Sure.
Thank you, Bearcock, for the donation. It's very generous. My buddy set up a squirrel-sized shower in his backyard and hooked up his car exhaust to it. He's just wondering how you trick the squirrels into taking a shower. Walnuts work great. Unfortunately, I left one in my car for like a week. It smells like walnuts still. So, pro tip. Thank you, James Colley. Quiz? I don't care.
Oh fuck. All right.
I don't get it.
Moving on. Something very similar. Rock Paper Shotgun author Nate Crowley claims Nemesis promotes violence against women, takes issues with Jill's attractiveness in Resident Evil 3. She's just too attractive.
It sounds like you're putting these thoughts into the game makers' heads, you're putting your thoughts on the game that weren't intended.
Yeah,
I think you're the creep here, dude.
Oh yeah, absolutely. It's like that Kibblesmith guy that's doing the New Warriors thing.
Uh-huh.
You know, like I thought they were too cool for me. Oh, this girl's too pretty. I can't picture myself hanging out with her, so I can't play this game. It makes me uncomfortable in my no-no squares.
No squares.
Oh, you haven't seen that video?
Oh wait, I think I did. Stop! Don't touch me there. This is my no-no square. Okay, yeah, I know. I've seen that.
You know what I take away from this? Like rock, paper, shotgun. Are you fucking kidding me? What did we learn from this? Gamergate failed.
Rock, paper, shotgun sucks. Yeah, that's what I learned.
Gamergate failed.
Paper shotgun. Yeah, rock, paper, shotgun has not been well, it's okay. It's not. I wouldn't say it's failed because it's still a publication, yes, but it doesn't have the same viewer base.
No, I didn't say rock paper. I didn't say rock paper shotgun failed. I said Gamergate failed.
Yeah, I know. I'm just saying that rock paper shotgun doesn't have the same people reading it now than they did before Gamergate.
Well,
did they use?
I was hoping that it would just.
They used to be, yeah.
I don't know. I was just hoping that Gamergate, like looking back on it, I arrived on the internet after it happened and looked back into it. Like, hopefully, game journalists won't spend all their time, like at certain publications, talking endlessly about gender and queer this and that and so on and social justice. No. And it's like, what has this got to do with games? And it's like, no, they're still up to it. Jesus.
That'll never go away. It's just the fact that now no one fucking goes to those sites. Have you seen the types of numbers that Kotaku pulls in?
No, I haven't.
It's almost nothing.
Really?
I don't know how that site still manages to be a thing.
Hopefully it'll be like everyday feminism and just go under one day.
Yeah.
Sorry, I talked over you.
Well, we talked over each other. Hopefully it'll be like everyday feminism and just go under, you know?
Yeah, well, if enough people get the Chinese cough, then maybe. But look, this crap is sort of like a money laundering scheme, in my opinion, because that's the only way some of these sites have any plausible reason for existing. Like, who reads this crap? Well, like I read this because I found the article somebody posted in my Twitter feed. And I was like, oh, what the shit is this? Who cares? Mm-hmm. She's too pretty. Shut up.
Well, let's read what he says, particularly in his, like on a game review site. Let's see what he said. I don't even know. I haven't read it yet. I do kind of want to flag the whole violence against women aspect of Nemesis and of the game in general. And it's hard to deny it's a theme. And that's presented with with at least a little relish. I realize it's completely unreasonable to single out RE3 for this when you know gestures at the entire history of the horror genre. And in fairness,
Okay, the entire Silent Hill series, there's only one female character in the entire, one female main character in the entire fucking series. Get fucked, you fag.
Don't hold
Get
back,
fucked.
Quiz.
You don't know shit about what you're talking about. I could write better for Rock Paper Shotgun than you. Give me his job. Give me his job.
And in fairness,
I know what the fuck I'm talking about.
You play as a trigger-happy mercenary Carlos for a good portion of the game, so you get to see loads of lingering close-up of a man's neck getting devoured like a late-night burger too. But, yeah, there were moments while playing I just felt uncomfortable. Jill isn't too unobviously a vessel for anyone's fetishes, but realistic as she is, she's clearly designed to be sexy. And she spends an awful lot of time being hurled into things, slapped about, grunted in pain, being asphyxiated, and rather struggling to force assailants off her, or being graphically murdered by them. There was one particularly rough bit where one of the blah, 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 you got a problem, and it says something about it.
No challenges for women. That's what we've learned.
It sounds to me like this dude's getting a hard on watching Jill die. I think it says more about this author than it does about the people who are playing the fucking game.
And haven't female protagonists been subject to that since the beginning of cinema and games?
Oh, women can't go through hardship. Nope.
Yeah, no. That's what I'm getting here. And everything he said was just asinine. I think BG's right. They're purposely crafting these articles just to make us mad, so we talk about them.
Yeah.
Well, they realize it does get attention, and negative attention, good attention, all of it is clicks. And the clicks are what's important for the advertising that runs on your site, which is how you pay the bills. So, hey, whatever. When you're not getting like people coming in to see what you're saying in terms of like a game review that they're thinking about purchasing, at least you can get a bunch of hate views. By the way, I was going to type it out, but I can't. So thank you, Evolve Potato, for posting all of it. Appreciate it that you do. That's that. A bit long. Rifle through. Oh, right. Let's do the diamond thing.
Okay.
Hence the name of the stream. Diamonds are cracking. Diamond Comics announces they won't be able to pay publishers until late August, which, as Jack has already pointed out, when COVID's supposed to like spike again. Great timing. In an email,
convenient.
Sorry,
it's convenient.
Yeah, in an email to comic book publishers, founder, chairman, and CEO of Geppi Family Enterprises. I've never really known. Is it Geppi or Geep? It doesn't matter. Steve Geppi outlined a plan to pay publishers following their announcements that they would no longer be distributing new comics due to the coronavirus. And like, guys, again, if you don't know, Diamond runs a virtual monopoly in terms of the comic book distribution market. So Marvel and DC and anyone else who's reasonably big sends out all their comics in the direct market. An email shared by social media by Alterna Comics founder Peter Samedi details that Diamond Comics will begin paying publishers and other vendors 25% of what they are owed under their contracts the week of April 6th. Ouch. And then we'll pay publishers and other vendors 25% of what they are owed for each subsequent week for the next 6 weeks. How many struggling comic book shops will that crush?
Quite a few. Because
Most
there's not big margins in comic shops.
Oh,
I know, I ran
tiny margins.
I was like,
yeah, the margins are shit. And even if you're buying up all the sale stuff that from like last Christmas that they still had laying around the warehouse, like those shitty figures that were like $1 a piece and you sell them for $2. I made a killing off those. That's not going to save your numbers. You're reliant on people coming in and buying Funko Pops and comic books, and that's pretty much it. A lot of stores have diversified into like Magic the Gathering, but they buy that stuff through Alliance most of the time, which is foolish because Wizards of the Coast gives you a better discount. So if you're buying it through Alliance, you're not getting new product that way either because Alliance is owned by Diamond and it's shut down too.
I've got to wonder, is there other distributing vectors that allow MTG to get its cards out there?
Oh yeah, you could
Because
go directly from Wizards of the Coast.
yeah, I was gonna say because I was at my supermarket the other day, and it's like a massive department store sort of thing. So I went by the board game section just to see, and they had a massive rack of Magic the Gathering stuff.
Funko Pops
Yeah,
through them too, right? Through
yeah, you
through
could get Funko through. I think Ingram's sells it, which is the book distributor, and most like grocery stores have an Ingram's account. A lot of department stores do too because they sell books.
I really think that they are. We're talking about the end times here, ladies and gentlemen. It's this is bad.
Well, I could see that there's going to be another business that steps up and takes over for
Oh, I
Diamond.
believe there's still a request for it. I'm just hoping for a Ron Perlman like restructuring of the big two. You know, like fuck off with the dumb shit. I mean, Warner and Disney, who own DC and Marvel respectively, are not going to put up with this shit forever because Warner and Disney, as a corporation, are being hit fucking hard as fuck by COVID. They are now looking at all of the different businesses that they have, where the profit centers are, who's actually generating money, who's a money pit. You know what I mean? And now that Diamond isn't there to pretend that shipped comics are sold comics, what are you going to do now? Are you going to continue to lie and say, oh yeah, we've got the same, air quotes here, sales figures, they're all just through digital? They're not going to buy that.
They can't fudge the digital numbers to that extent. It's just not possible,
Right?
because there won't actually be any money there. Um, Look, the way Diamond is structured is so asinine because apparently they don't even have a couple weeks worth of operating capital.
Because this is the thing that I was talking about when I was trying to explain the Diamond thing, right? Is the only stores that are going to survive this giant Ponzi scheme that Diamond has seemingly set up for themselves are the people that have a massive line of credit for their business, like comic shops, right? But like you've pointed out so many times, the profits are razor thin. If you don't have money coming in, how do you purchase, like money coming in from customers, how do you purchase your next round of comics that Diamond isn't even shipping anymore, and you can't even open your doors even if you're allowed to do curbside pickup? Fuck! Like this is
Even worse than
this is a spiral of business death, man.
no, it's worse than that because you still have to get your orders in for June. The June catalog's out, and you have to get your orders in by the cutoff, which is in a couple weeks. And if you don't get your orders in, you can lose your account.
Yeah.
So you still have to order product in that you don't know if you're going to be around to pay for. So you're on the hook for that money either way because that's a contract.
Yep.
So you may have to order 3-4 grand worth of books that you know you can't afford because you don't know if you're going to even be operating then. The only stores that are going to survive this are the really big stores like Lone Star and Mile High, although that guy's close to retirement, so I got a 50-50 on that one.
Yeah.
And the stores that have been around a really long time, like New England Comics, Midtown, stuff like that. The people that have been around for 20 years and want to push it. You got to remember, most comic shop owners are older than I am. They're in their 50s, maybe their 60s, and they might just say, fuck it. Or they don't have the money on hand because they're not good business people, or they haven't been able to save enough, their market's too bad, whatever. They'll just shut down.
Yeah.
And that's not including the people that are just new and struggling because a lot of companies that start comic shops go out of business within 2 years.
That's
So
exactly what I think happened to, I forget the guy's name who founded recently opened Atomic Comics in California, the guy that's been like freaking the fuck out on Ethan Van Sciver,
yeah.
right? For those of you who don't know, I mean, that's the TLDR of it. Guy opens a comic book shop at like the worst time possible. And then you kind of find out just how unbalanced of a guy he was and how thin his extension of business credit was because he had to close it almost immediately and decides to focus on, of all people, Ethan Van Sciver is like the author of all of his misfortunes. This is just,
Well,
I'm going to come kill you. I'm going to beat the shit out of you at the next convention. I'm going to blow your fucking head off. All the, literally, these are things that he said. I mean, I think that guy opened a shop and found that, hey, look, all of the issues you just described are happening to him, and he had to close the shop that he just fucking opened and decides to go after King Comicsgate over there as reason why.
So speaking of the end times here, thank you, Bearcock. Be honest, you keep catching wild squirrels and releasing them in Jack's house. I'm trying to end Jack. I'm trying to, slowly and steadily take comic book curation for myself.
Nice.
Well, if you stop doing that with the squirrels, yeah, you could absolutely have it. Those motherfuckers, I hate them so much. Look, there's too little profit to be made right now because the books are too expensive.
Yeah.
At $4 a piece, your average person can't come in and buy them. You've only got a dedicated core audience, and like other people have said before me, and I've said it several times too. Once people give up the habit, it's hard for them to come back.
Actually,
because
sorry, go ahead. Keep going.
they're already mad. You've called them all the names in the book, and now you expect them to come back and give you more money. No, the people that were the speculators will still be around. They'll be fewer and far between, but your diehards, they'll stop coming in.
They will, and that's actually a nice segue into different story I have related to Todd McFarlane, which will segue into something else you have, but really quick. Comic publishers fail to embrace digital at their own peril. Yeah, you know what? You charge too much. There. That's all I have to say. I've said it before. You're out of your fucking minds. You're charging full fucking cover price for a digital comic. Nobody wants to pay that. You're out of your fucking minds.
You know why that is, right? Because the shops were like, no, this is bullshit. You can't sell that for $2 when we're trying to sell the print copy for $4. So instead of like working out a negotiation, they're like, all right, we'll just charge cover price.
Yeah. And,
do.
okay, if that's the reasoning behind it, that's what's going on. But no, why would anybody? I mean, people do buy digital editions, but in large amounts, no. And the piracy claim, fuck you. That's a red herring. That's a distraction. That's bullshit. If you make the argument goes like this: if you make the digital editions less expensive, that will only encourage piracy because then that more BitTorrent file creators will be able to get more comics at a cheaper price and throw them up there on BitTorrent sites, and then everyone will get them for free. And it's like, that's fucking garbage because people were able to. Did that happen with Harry Potter?
Yes,
did that happen
actually.
To the point where J.K. Rowling doesn't live in a fucking medieval castle while virtue signaling to the world? No, it didn't.
No,
that you could buy and still can torrent digital editions of all the Harry Potter books. It didn't stop those books from fucking selling. Piracy is a real thing in the digital age. You have to deal with it, and using it as an excuse for overpriced digital comics is fucking crazy. The fucking Kindle edition does not cost as much as the print edition for a fucking reason.
No, it should be like 99 cents or $1.99. That's probably the maximum you're going to get is $2 for a single issue.
You know what I would pay for a digital comic?
Nothing.
Yeah.
I will never buy a JPEG. Period. I'm not doing it. So you give me an actual physical comic book, cool. I'll give you money. Till then, no. Yeah. You don't get shit.
I just don't like reading digital. I think it's garbage format to be putting this material on. It doesn't work for me. I don't like it. I like holding the book and flipping through it. It's way more fun that way. I don't enjoy reading digital. I think it's very sanitary.
Oh yeah, it feels clinical and distant and so forth. I agree with you. But to kind of back to this. Hey, you know what? Fuck you guys. Hold on. You guys don't need. And this page alone, just so we can see what Todd McFarlane says. Fuck you, Forbes. Miserable bastards. Anyway.
Yeah, Forbes is pretty awful.
Yeah, I have turned off my ad blocker. Yes. Go away.
But they really want you to look at those ads.
They really do. And now I forgot. I'm going to have to look at the page loading, gentlemen. Like Jack Quiz. Look at this. You know why? Because it's loading like 7,000 different fucking ads.
Yeah.
I forgot about this. It auto plays a fucking video too, a video ad. And it's like, I guess one shouldn't be terribly surprised. It is Forbes magazine. They're all about their business. Am I right?
Yeah.
This is an editor's pick, and the article is Todd McFarlane's urgent warning to the comics industry. We can't just sit here and do nothing, says the Quabillionaire. You know,
yeah, he's not wrong.
No, he's not wrong, but it's just kind of like when you read some of the things, I like some of the things he has to say. Some of the other things are just like, what does that mean, Todd? That's so vague. Okay, here we go. So he's being interviewed by Rob here, who says, tell me about the original Spawn figure Kickstarter. Why go the crowdfunding route? What's his Kickstarter at now, Jack?
I'm watching the numbers tick up. It's $639,000. $640,000.
$640,000.
$640,367.
Todd Mcfarlane says, having been in business for over 30 years, I've done all the other channels. I've done .com, small stores, collector boutiques, and obviously big retailers. What I've never done is crowdfunding. It's an experiment. Well, I think we can call it a successful one. Here we are. The fact is, we have to do something. Things have changed in our industry, obviously, both on the toy side and on the comic side. No new comics are coming out. That's a really dangerous situation, not just for us, but for any consumer industry that relies on established customer habits. You're going to love this, Jack. If you give your, well, you know what I mean by love it. You're going to, okay. What women need to know about hormones in their,
Well, how to make a hormone is you don't pay her.
yeah. If you give your customer a chance to break their habit, they might not come back. I understand how we got here. Do you? And why we're at a standstill. Are you sure? But even if the distributor, Diamond, is down, we can't just sit here and do nothing. So I'm trying to do something. Remember, even if we're not going into stores or movies right now, geeks will always be geeks. So we need to find ways to do what's on the minds of the customers that we have. No, you tell them to fuck off and they're a bunch of Nazis. That's what you do. You tell them to get fucked.
It's almost like Todd McFarlane's a good businessman.
Yeah, crazy, right?
No, look at the...
What
are you talking about? Drawing women sexy with cool characters and interesting stuff, that's been a complete failure for him. And I mean, look at his Kickstarter. It's crawling along and is obviously going to fail. This man doesn't know what he's doing.
It's awful how he's like setting a record for the first day.
Yeah,
of it. It's up to another grand now since I looked at it last.
No, you follow the Todd McFarlane route, or don't follow the Todd McFarlane route. You need to call your customers Nazis. It totally hasn't worked. The part that it breaks back down to here, because I read through this whole thing, streaming services on media companies. Okay. This interviewer asks them, pivoting to current events, this is a pretty dire time for the whole comics and collectibles business, with so many retail stores shutting down and the distributor, Diamond, halting operations. You've been through a moment like this before in the late 90s. Do you have any thoughts on how retailers can weather this? Garland says, look, we've had downturns. We've lost a lot of customers in the 90s. This is different. Now we have 0 customers and 0 new printed comics. Ouch.
Yeah, this is a first. This is really, really bad.
Yeah.
Like, Diamond's probably going to collapse from this.
As an industry, we've never started at 0 before. It's completely unprecedented, and we don't know where it's going to go and where it's going to end. We can try and savor retail all we want, but it's tough if customers can't go to stores. Everything needs demand. What's the demand going to be once we open up? Will people be conservative about spending? Will they decide that they can live without comics for 3 or 4 months? So maybe they don't need to spend their money. Or some people have the money and want to buy new stuff. But are there stores that are in business? There's a lot of unknown unknowns. So what can publishers do? He goes through this, but the line just sticks. You got to keep people engaged. At the very least, I'd say that. Surely amongst the leaders, we can throw 10 new comics for free as digital downloads, top titles, the ones people really want to read. We can afford it. It doesn't necessarily help the retailers, but we can't allow customers to lose that exercise of being geeks, of getting their regular doses to keep the geekiness going with comics instead of moving on to something else like streaming or video games or Warhammer 40K, because they will. He didn't say the 40K. I threw that in there. We need to engage people with comics. No, Todd, you call them Nazis. You tell them that fuck off if you voted for Trump. We don't want your fucking money. That's been spectacularly successful for Marvel. You're a moron.
And then never apologize.
Yeah, never apologize. And then make sure that you get together with your other comic pro buddies and agree with everyone else and gatekeep everyone else out and only hire like-minded people. That's how you be successful.
Yeah, and call anybody, all the outsiders, istophobes, and that they're hideous monsters for even thinking differently than you. Then you hate America.
Yes.
It and yeah, and then you insult the country generally. It he goes on to here. He goes, here's what I know about addicts. The longer they go sober, the easier it is for them to stay sober. We don't want our customers to break at their habit. Consumers will be filling their time somehow. Why let a competitor fill that with streaming media or games? We need to fill it. No, you tell them to fuck off to their racist, sexist games.
It's just not for you, man.
Yeah, say we've got, progressive games like Last of Us 2.
Obviously, I'm being a sarcastic son of a bitch, but it's like Todd talking the hot hate facts. Am I right? Like it.
Mm-hmm.
Get rid of that. Get rid of that. Over here. Oh yeah, this kind of revisiting the same point, but oh wait a minute, that's not the right. That's the right one. There we go. Professional. Comics to pay, or Diamond to pay comic publishers 25% as leadership takes a 50% pay cut. That's how thinly balanced his house of cards on shifting sand was built. That's how bad it was for them. Jesus Christ, were they, I mean, you used the phrasing Potemkin Village earlier, Jack. That's Diamond, apparently. Little pressure on them, and look what happened. Holy fuck, you guys have no operating capital. Clearly, you were month to month reliant.
Yeah, and I blame a lot of this on Marvel for a lot of their nonsense that they've been pulling with the flooding the shelves and shipping out copies you didn't order. Diamond's not making any money off of those. They're just getting their money back for the shipping. So they're moving all this stock, storing it, and just shipping it as a favor to Marvel to keep them afloat. Um, they're a lot of the problem is Marvel Comics, which I fully expect at some point, if this goes on too long, Marvel will shutter and just license their characters out.
Oh.
To people that'll have more respect for them.
Yeah, well, maybe.
Very first thing that happens is no one licenses America Chavez. No one licenses Kamala Khan.
It depends how cheap they are. I would license them just to completely change them.
License them to kill them off.
Here, I'm putting this up on the screen. See it? This is something that Shady sent. And Shady Gritton. I said that I was going to talk about on the next Apple Curation, and Christ, does it ever sum up a lot of the difference between basically Western comic pros, American comic pros, operating out of New York or whatever little isolated fucking ideological villa they're currently inhabiting, and what goes on over in manga. Manga's selling fantastic. I wonder if it's got to do with not insulting your audience, Con.
Yeah.
That's probably a big part of it. Plus, the girls look like girls, and they're not lecture books written by the SJW Chick Track company.
Yeah. Now, Nami, if that name, I'm probably butchering it. Sorry, guys.
No, it's Nami.
Is it Nami? Nami in the New World? Question asked to the creator. Personally, everything about Nami in the New World is right up my alley. I'm all about enjoying my Nami love through anime, merchandise, figures, game, DLC, and so on. As the author, do you think it's sleazy that this is one of the main sources of enjoyment for the series? And the answer from the author of the series is this. And you can see Nami here. Hello. I feel like Nami's gotten more popular lately. Maybe it's because she hasn't gotten around for a bit. Anyway, you're feeling a little bit guilty about thinking of the characters in a naughty manner, aren't you? Laughs. Well, I have no problem with this. For any of my characters, a teacher of mine said that your manga world is a product to be sold. And a real professional doesn't tell the customer who bought it how they should enjoy it. I agree with that philosophy. You may interpret, fantasize, and enjoy it however you wish. I'm just happy knowing that you're reading.
Yes.
Wow, that is a fantastic response.
I mean,
yeah.
I mean, it is. It's a great philosophy. It's clear-headed. It's. Well, I'm going to tweet this at Heather Ontel so she can block me. I mean, like Shady. Thanks for posting this, because I mean, it's just Like, seriously, you don't call people fuck you insult your audience and you form this little us against them collective and we only want certain people buying our comics, etc. What the fuck do you fucking care? You know, and then targeting your shit towards a phantom audience that you assume are going to buy your books if you write about certain kinds of representation or stuff, as if that's making a change in the world. Have you given any money to a charity or worked for a progressive group? Have you done anything other than tweet angrily and destroy canon?
That's easier to do than anything you just described. Real quick, thank you over on the Streamlabs Doghouse, who said, for you to buy hopefully a good comic or two. I appreciate it, man. I will definitely do that.
And also on the Streamlabs Doghouse for the paint fund. Thank you very much.
For the paint fund. Well, that's probably very appreciated. He buys Citadel.
Yes. Yes, I do.
Valley Joe, all the way.
Sherman Williams, man. 3 buckets. Way cheaper.
God damn it.
Count one like $10 at Walmart. Get 3 of those. That'll last you 5 or 6 armies.
I love it. I go with the Vallejo cheap option, and Jack's like, Sherman Williams, house paint.
Telling you.
Oh, fuck. For those of us who aren't interested in dipping our minis in a 4-gallon paint can.
Whatever. It's tournament legal. There are 3 colors, 3 cans.
I hear
all
you.
The way in, halfway in, the head. The end. That's the entire paint scheme. Yeah, it's barely recognizable when you're done. Boo-hoo.
And
that's called camouflage.
Doghouse, thank you for the $5 for your potato fund, Mr. Otter. Well, I greatly appreciate it. Thank you very much.
I think I may have bought a couple of your minis off of eBay, Jack. I had to fucking remove the paint with a chisel.
That sounds all right. Yeah, you may have.
Thank you, Doghouse. I'd type it in chat, but well, as you mentioned, my potato. All right, let us depress quiz.
Oh, great. What now?
You're gonna live with it. Oh, well, you.
No.
Yeah. Actually, I'm gonna have to so chat can see it. Stop screen. You know the reason.
No.
I'm sharing. So this is not my pitch, ladies and gentlemen. This is a comic that came out, and for those of you who are familiar with, oh no, that's not the right one. Comic capture professionalism. There it is. Batman: The Adventure Continues. Burnett and Dini. It's going to be quality, right? It's based on the Batman animated series. It even says The Adventure Continues. This is going to be fantastic. But really quick, Mike Parlett, thank you very much for the donation. Tell those guys real men paint muscle cars and tip the bartender. You know,
I paint muscle cars.
Thank you very much, Mike. I appreciate the donation. I do. You know what's funny about painting muscle cars, though? Quick little side story. When I was getting into painting, and Quiz was like sort of like my guiding advisor when getting into the whole thing, because he'd been doing it for so goddamn long. And I started like, what was it, like a year ago, Quiz?
Yeah, well, at this point, about 2.
Has it really been that long?
I think so, yeah.
And I still can't get Wash to work. Anyway, I want to get into Revolutionary War. I didn't want to minis and gaming and stuff. And then Quiz directed me towards Black Powder and Warlord Games, and I've had a lot of fun there. And then I decided to go with Valley Joe, as I affectionately call Vallejo paints, instead of Citadel, because Games Workshop, or as I've come to know them, the hobby pimps, charge a lot of money for what I consider to be a relatively comparable product. Anyway, I wanted to go as cheap as I could, so I tell my dad how much I paid for a box of 30 Colonial Militiamen, and it was 24 and change. It was like $24.50 or $26.50, something like that. I forget. And he goes, my God, you nearly paid $1 a fucking figure. Now, and then I remember when I was telling Jack about this, and he's like, yeah, but he's thinking about like little green army men.
Yeah.
And it's like, he was though. And he because of my dad, when he was a kid, I guess painted like with like not acrylic, but like enamel paints, you know, those little tester bottles, you know, the old school ones.
Yeah, well, like you'd paint model airplanes.
Right. And he starts going on with like, when I was a kid, and went in this whole thing, and I paid for a absolutely scale realistic muscle car. Whatever, 18 cents that he actually paid for it back in the day. and the low price for paints, and I'm like, oh, you have no idea. The industry has really moved beyond that and learned how to charge a lot of money for very little. And if you think $25 for 30 minis is a lot to pay, I should show you what a Warhammer site looks like.
Oh yeah. I say I still need to get 30 more Scions, and they're $35 for 5. So
A ripoff.
So let's check out Batman: The Adventures of Winter.
That is a cool cover, by the way.
Oh, it is. It is. And
all of the covers are good, but the comic is so bad.
you know, as Quiz said earlier, this is you sell comics by the cover quite literally. At least it's what makes people pick them up off the rack and start flipping through them, right? Yeah.
Mhm.
I mean, come on, let's be. You look at this cover and you want to start flipping, am I right? Just saying. So let's go back to Batman here. I flipped through this and I couldn't believe it. It's so bad, guys. It's so bad. All moons should be this bright, all nights this clear. Not that that matters to me. My sight's aim considerably lower. This is like childish. And Bane doesn't even wince. I will break you! Look at the art, guys. It's awful. It's so overly simplistic. Nary a shadow to be seen. I mean, there's a few, but not enough. It looks like cutout paper dolls.
Yeah.
You know, it's not even like the animation either, because the animation still had at least 2 to 3 tones. This doesn't even have one.
Yeah.
This looks a lot like somebody took a color form set and made a comic book. Oh my god, you guys are too young to know what color forms are, aren't you?
I don't know what that is.
Okay, sort of like taking just the images from like a bunch of different stuff, like cutting out pictures out of a different comic book and creating a new one with it. It's horrifying. I am sad to see this, really, because I haven't read this yet. And I was looking forward to it. I was like, cool, an awesome Batman book.
So was I. I was like, based on the animated series, I'm there. Paul Dini, I'm there. Burnett, well, but I'm there, you know. And I opened it up. Your boy Zach did a review on this on his channel on Comics Matter, and he said the title of the video is "This wasn't supposed to be a coloring book," which summed it up for me that like in black and white without text, this would make a good coloring book. I'd love to see the palette for this. Quiz, you pointed it out, like the color variation and such. Like, what are the? It's like, this is like 16 colors. Like the palette is so small. There's no gradients. There's
now, Jordan asked the same question I did: is the target audience going to be real young?
Well, it's funny you ask that right now. It's like, are you all right, Bullock? Yeah, I could be better. What the fuck? Like it's
right.
I mean it's censored, but it's like, is it for kids? I guess you could see it that way, but they got cussing going on, and I mean you have to understand, or they should understand that they have a huge adult audience. Like, what do you think it is? 8-year-olds that are buying the Blu-ray 1080p transfer of the animated series in special limited edition tin covers and shit? No, that's adult. I mean, the fuck? I don't know. It's a really bad comic. I mean, this whole page.
Oh, that looks terrible.
Huge evil robot doing things. Evil robot looks over his shoulder. Batman says, "Put it back." Holy fuck. That's it. Like, I mean, people complain about comics being too wordy. I personally, if it's well written, love me a talky comic, man. This is like the antithesis of that.
The exact opposite, yeah.
Yeah, this is like for the special kids, you know, that show up in the shorter bus. This is bad. I'm sad I ordered this now.
So, I mean, there it is. What do you know, you look at it and cracks says it is for kids, millennials, like, ouch. But I mean, it's like, let's say that this actually is intentioned for kids. It's like, you know, I've heard a couple people talk about that online on Twitter and stuff. It's like, obviously, if you read it, the level of it is aimed at children and art. Then you done fucked up. You should have done 2 series and 1 for kids. And if you're going to get Burnett and Dini in on it, like, why didn't you aim it at a more adult audience? You could have sold more copies. There would have been a lot more interest. And kids don't like we're talking little kids. I mean, we need to separate here. But when you're 10 years old, you want to be reading what you perceive 16-year-olds to be reading, etc. You're always reading above your grade level in terms of reading comprehension and so forth. You'll look words up and shit. I mean, I did, didn't you guys? I mean,
Yeah,
absolutely.
you're
Yeah.
definitely reading above your comprehension level, and you're challenging yourself, and that's why it seems cool, and it seems like a whole world that you're exposing your imagination to, because it's like, ooh, this is adult stuff, and it is adult relative to the fact you're 11. You know, now if you're talking like little 6-year-olds, yeah, okay, this would be good for them, but is that who you're really aiming for? Fuck. Why would you bring on massive talent like that?
See, that's the thing, man, is there's it was a pitch that I pitched back in, oh god, episode 64, the Harley and Ivy series. It is Bruce Timm and Paul Dini. It's the animated series style, and it's all about Harley and Ivy, and it did not treat the audience as juvenilely,
childishly.
as this comic has.
Do you guys want, in my opinion, the proof that this wasn't, well, strong evidence that this wasn't aimed at kids? Maybe you guys already saw this here. I got to get one button that screen shares for you guys and the audience at the same time. That'd be cool.
Does the robot have a giant dinker?
No, and this is going to hurt, especially. Sorry for the flashing shit. Kevin Conroy to live read DC's Batman: The Adventures Continue. Star Kevin Conroy will host a live reading of Batman: The Adventures Continue on DC's Instagram page. What? Why?
That makes me sad. I like Kevin Conroy. They should do this to him.
Oh, Kevin Conroy's... Oh, God. So... those guys can't see it because Google's giving them the we want Jack and Quiz to have a fucking epileptic seizure flash page. So I'm just going to read it to them. It's really short anyway. Kevin Conroy, the voice behind the Cape Crusader, awesomely so, legendarily so, in Batman, the animated series, among other projects, will do a live reading of the first chapter of Batman, The Adventures Continue. The event scheduled for Thursday, April 9th at 7 a.m. Eastern. Why? That is going to be the shortest live stream ever. You guys... Put it back. There, he's done. He's on his way back to having coffee or whatever he was doing before he started. I mean,
make the occasional grunt and groan and be like, all right, cash that check. See you guys later.
Yeah.
I mean, that's wild. I mean, this is what I mean. Like, you're on Instagram. What you think? Oh, I guess there are 8-year-olds with Instagram, but they shouldn't be. It's full of TNA. I mean, this is my point. Is like you're bringing in Kevin Conroy. Little kids don't know who Kevin Conroy is. Clearly, you're attempting to make the more adult fans that are aware of the awesome voice acting prowess of Kevin Conroy, playing Bruce Wayne and Batman in both DC animated specials and in the original series as well. I mean, that they're attempting to hit that audience who actually knows who the fuck he is. So that comic, it's like, you thought they would like this?
I don't know what they're doing. DC's made some really bizarre decisions in the last few years. Yeah. And they're getting weirder about it. I mean, look at the 5G thing that they were going to roll out, which who knows what's happening with that now.
Yeah.
So, I mean, they want to replace Batman and make him an old guy again. Come on. They're making a lot of questionable decisions, and this apparently is just another one of them. And it's really sad. It's a waste of talent.
Well, I don't know. A whole bunch of people have come in. I didn't get a chance to say it because we were yakking, but Crack showed up and Price Creed showed up and Pete showed up. Hey, what up, Pete? And Geodes and all sorts of people. Sorry if I didn't say hello when you were coming in. Glad you're here. And glad you're here because it's pitch time. So you get to find out what we've been reading. Well, what Jack and I have been reading. Quiz has been get this working.
And 12-hour shifts too.
No, that's what I was saying to the guys last week. Everyone's like, where's Quiz? And it's like, oh, he's got a job with a forgive the pun, shifty schedule right now. So it's moving around, and he wasn't able to be here, and we certainly under. Too bad you're not working in a quarantined industry like I currently am. Yeah.
Yeah.
Or just unemployed and reloading off your friends like I am.
In any case, I'm ready to go. If you guys aren't, who would like to go first? And remember,
Uh,
think of future Polly who has to do the editing. Keep it short.
okay, keep it brevis.
Yes, because we are pitching, trying to get the other person interested, not overdoing it.
Yeah,
And
sure. I can.
you ready to go? Cool.
Yeah, I can do it.
Megafy the screen. Focus it on your visage. No, it's not visage. It's visage.
Visage.
You don't know that. You weren't there when that word was invented.
All right, so my pitch is written by Nancy A. Collins, illustrated by Cuber Ball, colored by Shumary's Ball, and lettered by Simon Bowland. My pitch is here, pink screen share.
And here we go with the comic book pitches and quizzes. Pitching what?
It's Army of Darkness, Furious Road. Now, what this is it's essentially a post-apocalyptic. This is after the Deadites have come back into the modern world, and Ash has come back from medieval era. And it's Mad Max, only it's Army of Darkness, and it's awesome. There's like this bit where they've got a sorceress, a werewolf, a vampire, a nun, and a Frankenstein's monster, all working with the remnants of humanity. And they run afoul trying to get some supplies from an S-Mart. And there's Ash. He's back from medieval times. And yeah, it turns out to be a pretty fun comic where he's having to coordinate the resistance amongst humanity in the dark times in the near future. So yeah, I really heavily enjoyed it. Army of Darkness, Furious Road.
Nice. So we saw a nun in there. Is she a bigoted, homophobic, trying to kill the LGBTQ people? Because
No, unfortunately, she's the seed that starts the deadite internal infection. Because she gets bitten by a deadite and then
Spoilers.
becomes one. Yeah.
Have you read the new miniseries they're doing?
For Army of Darkness?
Yeah.
No.
It's not bad. I read the first issue. It was pretty good. It was
Okay.
Death to the Army of Darkness, where Ash tries to separate himself from the Necronomicon finally, and it goes horribly wrong.
Yes. I say all of the Evil Dead and Army of Darkness comic books I've read are fucking fantastic. So I read that one recently and I figured it'd make a good pitch.
all right, Jack, what do you got for us?
All right,
Convince me, man.
convince you.
Well, that's the idea of
I thought you
pitching.
said to keep it quick.
Persuade me.
Okay. My pitch is Red Agent Island of Dr. Moreau.
Really?
Yep.
Then it's fucking Zenoscope. This is awesome. Okay, go ahead. Go ahead.
So, as always with Zenoscope, they're taking some public domain IPs and making them their own. So here we have Little Red Riding Hood as an assassin badass secret agent.
I love it.
Wait,
And-
they're cramming Little Red Riding Hood into fucking Isle of Dr. Moreau?
Yeah. Well, see, in the previous miniseries, they accidentally blew up the Vatican. So
Oops. What the?
you know, like you do when you're out adventuring. And her and her sidekick are on the run, and to clear their names, they have to work with a super secret organization called Rubicon, and they've uncovered this plan to create super soldiers using animals and human hybrids. And the original creator of this program faked her own death. Her name was Dr. Helena Moreau.
Mhm.
And now she's sabotaging the new project and still has her original project going. So they got to track her down. And this issue, that they track down one of her soy boys and interrogate him. It's a good classic fun with a wholesome plot of Little Red Riding Hood fighting monsters like always. And like I said, they're crossing IPs. It's a good time. There's boobs. See these things on the front of these women identifying persons' chests. Those are boobs. It's just good time. It's got everything you could want: action, adventure, good pacing, interesting story. It reads like a movie, and it's got monsters. The art's not the greatest, granted. It is digital art, but it's fun. It's a fun read. So give it a shot.
I'm gonna go get that. I love it. We read
I think
Riding
there's
Hood to
3
the
issues out.
That's pretty ridiculous. Yeah.
Yeah, it's only a 5-issue miniseries too, which is awesome.
ridiculous. You mean ridiculously awesome? What are you talking?
Right? Did you see that cover? Fucking A. Before you pitch real quick, thank you, Pete, on the Streamlabs. That squirrel is a superhero and is using your attic as a squirrel cave. Pretty sure he is Squirrel Girl's boyfriend. How could you feel? How would you feel if you murdered Squirrel Girl's boyfriend?
I'd feel pretty good. I don't know about
I
that.
refuse to answer that on the advice of my attorney, but thank you for the donation, Pete.
And as you guys saw pop up there, and this newest update from OBS has failed to do what it said it was going to do as well, which is fix Streamlabs pop-ups. You saw the what's his name, Steve Carell from The Office pop up there for a minute. It's still doing that. Fix your shit, OBS. Fucking hell. Thank you, Pete, for the $5 with no text. But hey, Pete's awesomeness speaks for itself, don't you think? I think
It does.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
so. Here, I said that Jack was gonna really. Well, I hope he likes my pitch. And you're gonna have to look. My pitch this week is a collected edition. Nothing new in this, but if you want a whole bunch of awesome comics at once, how could you possibly do better than Mephisto? Speak of the Devil collection from Marvel. Brand new. Well, none of the comics are, but the collection is. This stuff collects so many things. It's so thick, if you will. It collects Thor 80 and 81 from 1966, Fantastic Four from 1961, number 276. I won't even just keep listing off. It collects Amazing Spider-Man. It collects all 4 copies of the Mephisto Versus series, Mephisto versus Fantastic Four, and that's the cover that you see right here is from the cover of Mephisto versus Fantastic Four, which was number 1, and then Mephisto versus Avengers, X-Men, and X-Factor. Also, the Marvel graphic novel Doctor Strange and Doctor Doom Triumph and Torment, where they fight against Mephisto to get back Doctor Doom's tormented mother's soul that's being held in Mephisto's infernal realm. I mean, the list goes on. Daredevil number 266, Silver Surfer number 45, Black Panther, New Mutants. Like, oh, shit. This is a hell of a fucking collection. And look at this, right off the bat. It goes into Silver Surfer, and I love this. This is just such a classic. This is from original Volume 1 Silver Surfer, Sentinel of the Spaceways. I mean, all of it recolored, so it doesn't have like the grainy newsprint. Even though I'm a fan of the grainy newsprint, I also like to see deep color on old school stuff. I mean, look at the Jack Kirby plasma blast coming out of Silver Surfer's hands here. Love it. Oh, just classic material. For those of you who don't know, Mephisto has been trying to get Silver Surfer's soul forever. It's become like the prize because Silver Surfer's powerful and he's this great noble soul, and Mephisto has more power the more powerful people that he brings to his infernal realm. So he really wants Silver Surfer and has forever. So it's like been his longtime nemesis. Oh, just story after story after story after story. So many collections from Marvel's history of Mephisto. Mephisto, Speak of the Devil. Awesome collection of stuff. Check it out.
So speaking of Mephisto versus the X-Men, was Jack's 3rd pitch.
Oh yeah, I remember. That's why I thought Jack was, if he loved that, he's gonna love like a collection of all of the Mephistoisms. You know what I mean?
That looks like it's really well restored.
Yeah. Yeah. You see the sharp, rich colors redone digitally. Fucking fantastic. Yeah. And every single, and now when you get towards the end, you get towards some of the newer stuff, which of course is gonna, starts to become modern Marvel. You know what I'm talking about here?
Suck.
Yeah. Suck.
Oh man, I've been reading Ghost Rider, and that's really gone downhill.
I don't doubt
That's
it.
unfortunate. That's unfortunate.
Yeah, because it had such cool potential. Like Johnny Blaze is running hell because they got Mephisto locked up on Earth in Vegas. And it had so much potential, and then just got dumber and dumber.
So there it is, everybody. Another episode in the can. Apologies for starting so late, but OBS with all of its fun times bullshit. Cause more problems again, and then less, of course, we wind out my potato. But thank you for showing up, Jack. Quiz. Thank you for being here. Evolve Potato. Thank you for posting our links again and again. That's greatly appreciated. All of the regulars, all of the newcomers, thank you for being here. Have a good night, everybody. Oh, fuck, of course. Thank you guys for the donations. Extremely generous. Greatly appreciated.
I also
Thank
like to shout out Assassin of the Gray. Also showed our links for our Twitter accounts.
Oh, nice. I appreciate. Oh, yeah, that's right. The post that had all of the his patented rights reserved mark.
Yeah.
Yeah, thanks, man. Greatly appreciated. All right, have a good night, everybody, and we will talk to you again next week. Laters.
Bye. Thanks, everybody.
Take care, everyone.